Okay.
I'm recording.
Rolling.
Okay.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
I clapped. Did anybody?
Yeah, it'll pick up in the recording.
It will. It'll pick up because sometimes it's too quiet for Discord to pick up, but the USB or your microphone Audacity will pick it up.
Yeah, and I'll cut this whole part out. By the way,
no,
so
leave it in.
Worry.
Let them know how much we suffer. Let them know how much we suffer for our art.
Yeah, I definitely did some suffering for my art. All right. I did some suffering on this album, one of these albums over time.
Yeah. Okay, I just hope we can get it lined up, but should be able.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I can get them lined up.
Okay.
All right. Well, honestly, that's a better skit. I mean, my opening idea for a skit was to just say, it's illegal to say the following sentence. I want to throw a brick at Dan Auerbach's house. You can't say that. It's even more illegal to say, I want to throw a brick at Dan Auerbach's PlayStation. Because those are worth more than houses these days. At least if you live in Ohio.
I was going to say, where are you living?
Well...
Where are you living?
Where are you?
I need to tear off.
Can you more?
Dan Auerbach probably has enough money to buy every house in where JD Vance grew up and start his own compound.
Can you mortgage a PlayStation?
Oh, you can mortgage anything you want.
I mean, I guess people can. I guess apparently people can finance pizzas now.
That is
a capitalism.
We're not in a recession. We checked and we're not in a recession.
Klarna is going to go down like fucking Movie Pass, you know? It's just why did they think this was a profitable idea? Oh, venture capital.
Well, no, it's.
I didn't know the name of that business.
It's one of those. It's one of those Scandinavian ideas, you know how in no disrespect if there's anybody living in Holland, but there's an app in Holland called Tikkies where they expect you to pay for your share of every single meal that you ever have and with friends or whatever, and maybe it's just one of those specific things where it's they think it's a cultural virtue to split payments.
What? That sounds like the Quibi of restaurants.
Yeah, no, it's an app where okay, so say you go and you get bread, you get coffee with a friend and it costs $5. They expect you to pay for part of that $5 later, but they don't want to say it in public because they're in public and they don't want to look like they're greedy. But they will send you a Venmo request on Tikkies. Being like, hey, there were 4 people here, so you owe me, so you owe me $1.25.
Give me Apple Pay cards.
Yeah.
Mr. Milken, I see that you got a sip of my soda. I would like
literally
you to
they do that. Literally they do that. They're
cents.
that is 30 cents worth of juice.
Yeah.
And they act like it's and there are tourists that go over there that are so shocked by Tikkies culture. It's oh my god, it's incredible. It's good art over there, not too good of app developers. What
that sounds about right.
What country does have good app developers though? I don't think that's a thing. If
they were a thing, they're probably not now with the advent of AI.
Yeah. But who are you going to get to debug the AI apps, though? Because that's spaghetti code.
Oh, you think they're going to be debugged? That's so cute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm proud to announce. I'm proud to say that the Foxx and the Mage podcast is the only podcast that is 100% anti-generative AI and 100% anti-Dutch.
Yeah,
true.
You've gotten away with too much for too long.
Speaking of the Foxx and Mage podcast, welcome everyone. After that, we're keeping that in. By the way, you're gonna listen to all of that.
Yeah. You're gonna listen to us having audio trouble for the first 2 minutes of the podcast.
So, I'm the Mage.
I'm the Fox.
And I'm a random woman that they met on Discord.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, this is
Hi,
this
random
is our friend
woman I
Blake.
met on Discord.
Yes.
Yeah, randomly meeting people is a very efficient way to make friends. You know,
We wouldn't have podcasts if we didn't have random meetings of people.
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah. So today we invited Blake on, and we have decided to look at 3 albums in foreign languages.
From around
Non-English.
the world.
Mr. Worldwide.
Because I don't know if you know this, there are non-English speakers in America. Some people say that they spoke languages other than English before English got here. But that wasn't in my Texas history textbooks.
Well, there was honestly nothing in Texas history textbooks. I also had to deal with those.
Yeah. Yep.
Somehow the West Virginia textbooks were actually kind of accurate. So, like, at least it's like they actually talked about slavery.
Just everything before West Virginia became a state was just like copied from the Virginia one. Right.
Yeah, probably.
God, oh, that's awesome! Just a bunch of like secondhand textbooks. This, the governor of West Virginia just steals a bunch of textbooks from Virginia, and is like, okay, we'll scribble some notes on it. Come on, put in something about Robert Byrd.
Yeah, just like take a switchblade and just everything before like 1860, just cut it out of the spine.
1863.
Oh,
Yeah, just.
West Virginia is probably the only state that lies about having supported slavery more than they actually did.
Yeah, it's like
I never thought about it that way. Actually,
It's like they formed because they didn't want to join the Confederacy. But like, you know, I'm sure they were still like very deeply racist. even back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
But like,
Isn't
and
Isn't that the defense
honestly,
that they always give of like Robert E. Lee? Is he wasn't fighting for slavery, he was fighting for Virginia. It's like, what does that say about Virginia?
Yeah.
It's like, what is he fighting for from Virginia? It's like,
Freedom,
no, but anyway,
rights,
yeah,
the right to do what?
sure.
Pretty much
Right, yeah,
the opposite of what, honestly, the opposite of what pretty much all of these albums stand for. I can definitely say Robert E. Lee would have hated the messaging of pretty much all of these musical projects.
Yeah,
Yes,
And that makes it a worthwhile endeavor.
it's all about.
yeah. Specifically, the one I suggested was in Arabic. It was Astfhl Al Tha'r by Al-Namrood.
The album I suggested was from Colombia. Cumbia. I said Colombia. Did I say Cumbia there?
It's you said Colombia.
Okay, I was.
It said Colombia the first time, and then you said it again.
Okay, good. Yeah, it is Colombia. Although they are a Cumbia nation, and it is the album Cumbia Siglo XXI by Meridian Brothers.
And the album that I suggested was Kazemachi Roman by Happy End. Came out in 1971, which is from Japan.
Yep. Yeah. So we went to Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Colombia.
Woo!
Yep.
And boy, are my arms tired.
Yes. Do we have a rim shot button? Has anybody come up with a
No,
with,
I
with a soundboard yet?
I don't use soundboards for this.
Dude, I swear to God, once I get my new computer up and running, I'm probably going to try and get voice mod on it. And I don't know. I can't promise I won't be devious with it, or at least try.
This
Watch out,
podcast
y'all.
will be so avant-garde by then.
The soundboard,
Don't
the soundboard era is coming.
don't worry. I can always edit it out. No.
I will make it impossible to edit out.
They're going to become like Negative Land. They're going to be a sound collage band by the time this is all over. No.
Yeah.
That's kind of
exactly.
that's kind of what we're building toward, you know. I mean, after we talk about all the Swans albums, like we got to just make our own Swans albums at that point.
Right.
We gotta. But yeah.
Just get somebody to
today,
strum a chord for 20 minutes. No disrespect to Michael Gira.
For now, though.
Yeah.
For now, though, we gotta. For now, though, I think we should dive into what was probably the weakest album, in my opinion, which is also somehow the loudest.
The Al-Namrood.
The Al-Namrood, yeah. So this band has a really important backstory. So, for all I can tell, it's, black metal in general is illegal in Saudi Arabia, as is not being Muslim if you live there, as is being progressive, as is speaking against the government. Yeah, a lot of things are illegal in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
But the people in this band don't care. They make black metal, and they explicitly condemn the Saudi Arabian government. They condemn Sharia law. They promote Satanism, atheism, just secularism in general, just anything that's anti Sharia law. And they're all anonymous too, of course. Yes. Because otherwise they get executed.
That's the first thing.
Because of this,
that I noticed about this is like they had to all have been anonymous because it's all like one like word names, and I don't think you're allowed to be a famous musician in Saudi Arabia named Mephisto. I think that wouldn't fly very well. But
exactly. And because of this, they're doing anything regarding the band is a life. It can end with them getting executed. Like getting instruments can be a hassle since they'd have to get their instruments from from other sources, mainly Western countries.
That
for example.
Explains a little bit of it. Yes, I was going to say,
especially like.
Oh.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, in like 2009, especially, like I think recently, there has been this push by the Saudi Arabian government to, at least to superficially integrate themselves into world culture. You know, they've like repealed their ban on women driving. I believe they've repealed their ban on women showing their hair in public. Don't quote me on that.
Ban on movies. You know, they had a ban on
they
movies
didn't have.
That they
They didn't have movie theaters until like 2014. And this album came out in 2009.
Yes.
So things were like really like I think people maybe listening now may not understand just how like again like all of these things like maybe they're becoming like a little more normal quote unquote, but like 2009 was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think I say this. This band is infinitely more badass than any Norwegian black metal band that says "Hail Satan."
Yeah, that's you could say that about anybody though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even throwing shade at Nazis. I mean, like just any of those Scandinavian black metal bands. No, this band just throws them out of the water. Turns out how punk they are. I just sadly they don't sound as good as some of the it's like
well
as Dark Throne.
See, and that's the thing is I was gonna bring up, and I was listening to, I think it was like the 6th track, the Nakos Al Tha'r one, and I noticed that it sounds like they're using a MIDI drum set, and I was gonna say, is that because they're? I mean, obviously it's hard to find instruments, but is that because they're trying to also make less noise? You think? They're probably somewhere
possible
recording and being like, well, if I hit this little pad, it'll make less noise than if I have a full acoustic drum set waking up all my neighbors and they go, what the, is he doing blast beats up there? What the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like I'm saying this from a privileged position, for sure.
Right.
Like we are saying this from privileged positions where we know what black metal can sound like.
I understand how important this is for somebody who is living in Saudi Arabia at the time and maybe has not heard something like this. And of course, the lyrics are a little bit hard to come by. Mage was able to find, she was able to find some lyrics in
Metal Archives.
In Metal Archives that were in Arabic, and I was going to put them through Google Translate, but I don't think that would be that accurate because
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I did put them through Google Translate, and if that's even a little accurate, I will say that this album is kind of one note.
Yeah.
But also, like, in this album's defense, I'm clipping a bit. I'm so sorry about that, audience / Mage, if you edit that out. So one thing I will say in this band's defense is that this is the first album from this project, and it really sounds like a first album, you know?
Yes.
It is, you know, I listened to a couple of their later songs, and I mean, I'm not going to say it's like, it didn't blow my mind or anything. I'm not much of a black metal person, but...
Me neither, but I can respect it.
It did sound nicer. Like, the production was better. The songwriting was a little bit more... well, I don't know. The songwriting was kind of the same, but it sounded better. At the very least.
But it's one note in the way that metal music often is, where it's like, you know, anything that you get here, you're going to get from somebody like Mayhem or somebody like, even like Ozzy Osbourne or something like that. It has, metal does kind of paint itself into a corner thematically a little bit, which
pretty much, and especially some of those and black metal especially can do that. Any of the extreme ends of metal,
right?
But yeah, also the way we're talking about this made me realize that I think Al-Namrood is the Eminem of Saudi Arabia.
Meaning
that means that basically they are extremely provocative towards the Saudi Arabian government, but you can also but if you know where to find it, you could probably find that sound done better somewhere else.
Oh,
just not in Saudi Arabia,
right?
But still,
no. I was gonna say that song that I was talking about, the Nakas Al Qatar one, starts out with what sounds almost like
Let's go through these like tracks kind of one by one,
right?
As we do. Not that, and I will say, like, okay, like, yeah, we're going. I know it's like we're like 17 minutes in, and we're only barely talking about the first track on the first album. All three of these albums are very vibey. All of these albums, you know, and it's kind of a big coincidence that this was the case, but yeah, this album, if you hear like 2 or 3 songs on any one of these albums, you get a sense of what the rest of it sounds like. So there's really not, even like lyrically, that's the case too. So there's not all that much to talk about, at least with regards to most of these individual songs.
Yeah. I was going to say, just something that stuck out to me was the 6th track specifically starts out with what sounds almost like a surf rock beat, and it reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen that video of this guy playing metal guitar without the distortion on, and it sounds like evil surf music.
There's a band literally did that. Hellspirit Noir literally did that for an album. It was called Mayhem in Blue.
I might have to DM me a link to that later, because I would definitely listen to that. I thought I didn't. It seemed sort of like pretty good. I just didn't expect there to be like any sort of. It sounded like a beat that you would hear on like Wipeout or something like that. It was kind of odd.
Maybe Al-Namrood were ahead of the curve on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is released through a label in Canada, which I assume that they have to smuggle their work through a network of dissidents somewhere.
Probably. And the name of the label Shaitan Records. Do they have VPNs in 2009?
Yeah, they did.
Probably not in 2009. But I assume they got signed recently.
I assume that somebody is on the lookout for, if you make any sort of metal music and you're sharing it with people in Saudi Arabia, because that's the case with I think there was a filmmaker, it's not in Saudi Arabia, but it's Iran, which has kind of similar laws about some movies. There was a filmmaker named Jafar Panahi who had to hide a jump drive in a cake and then have it delivered to the Cannes Film Festival. and then inside the cake secretly was a little jump drive that had the film on it, and the film is called "This Is Not a Film," because he didn't want anybody to realize that. But I figure that if it's sort of along those same lines of religious restrictions or government censorship, you would have to do something like that. But I'm not sure how they do it because they don't really go into that much detail.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's for a good reason too.
Right?
But now
Yeah.
he's so badass.
The Discogs photo that I found of them is extremely dark on purpose.
Yeah, they hide their identities. They don't do any they don't do any video interviews.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, we are talking more about the band's backstory than the music itself because the music itself is kind of. Yeah,
The music itself is the
there's
music
not
that you
much
would
to it.
expect from a project like this, except they're in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
so it comes with the threat of death, and that's sort of the draw there is like, well, they are brave for doing this and caring so much about metal music, but
It still sounds like it was recorded by teenagers in a closet that they turned into a Faraday cage, you know?
Yeah, to
it
be honest
probably
with this
was.
one, I don't know if it's even worth going through the songs in order without repeating the same few things over and over.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, you think you're gone to something. I mean,
There is one
Yeah,
song that's
I've-
about Saddam, which
Yeah, that does happen at the end.
The last song is about Saddam Hussein, and that is pretty sick. How there's a song that's-
relax, guy.
Relax, guy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about how, Satan was a fool for dumping Saddam. He should have stayed with him, and now they're going to date Saddam, He's going to be their boyfriend. They're going to be in heaven, having fun with Mormons.
I want the love triangle between Satan, Saddam, and Trump to happen. Actually, no, love square because since we're throwing Vance into the mix.
oh yeah,
yes.
right.
Oh,
Hervé Villachez, Vance,
I'll say.
boss.
Yeah.
No, Saddam himself. It's kind of fitting that it's definitely a. I don't know if it's a protest song. The lyrics are. I haven't gone over the lyrics, but I assume they're critical. But
Yeah, that's what I got. It seemed like it was from the perspective of someone who supports Saddam.
yeah,
It does mention it also mentions jihad.
yeah, and
And it explicitly condemns it.
Yeah, I do
Saddam-
think this is more of an anti-Saudi, because the Saudi Arabian government has had it out for Saddam ever since
sure.
at least the Kuwait War. So for them to go and say, "Oh, we love Saddam," it's honestly the equivalent of an American saying, "I love Saddam Hussein." That's how much they
Right.
were against having him in the area.
right. I mean,
So that kind of drives home me calling them the Eminem of Saudi Arabia.
right. I mean, Saddam did have a Quran that was written in human blood. Allegedly, was the rumor, but I don't think maybe that's why they thought of him. But I don't know.
I
get enough blood for that.
I've seen that one. Or I mean, I don't know if it was actually written in human blood, but he
Well,
said
that was the rumor that he spread about it. Yeah.
I know there was an issue when they were raiding Saddam's palace because they found it and they were like, okay, well, this is sacrilegious, so we have to destroy it. But it is
Right.
also the holy text of the Quran, so we can't destroy it.
It's
So-
a real catch-22.
What the fuck do we do about this?
Get a cat and see if a cat sits on it, and if a cat sits on it, you can burn it.
Ooh, that's a good test. It's a
Right.
dang good test.
I'll also say, when I first listened to this album, I was in a public library putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and it apparently goes off harder when you're doing that than when you're actively paying attention to it.
Yeah. It's kind of
And I feel like that's a shame given the concept of the band.
right. I wish them a lot more success. Still making records. They're still making albums.
Yeah. I heard their 2020 album Wala At, and it does sound a bit the same, but with better production. Technicality is about the same though. You still got the Arabic folk influences in there.
It's the actual
but like
doing of the thing that I think matters in this sense. It's not necessarily that there's substance and like when people would put burning the American flag, like in Rage Against the Machine used to do that a lot, and it wasn't necessarily that it was novel because they would do that a lot. It was just that people hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, this band has my full support in their fight.
Oh, me too. Yes.
I just don't want to listen to their music again, except for the first song.
No.
Yeah, I liked that one song with the missing lyrics. Juge Wa Mahul, because it kind of sounds like he's rapping on it.
Oh,
that one was my second favorite, but so I will give that one a pass.
I will say that
it's almost star.
And honestly, like when it does kind of like go into the Arabic folk influences, I think this album is kind of, and like you said with the jigsaw puzzle, it's a nice vibe. If you want to have it in the background, kind of chill, then it is a pretty, interesting listen with its fusion of genres around. But then you pay attention to it and you're like, wow, there's just no bass. Like I am waiting for, it's like an Andy Samberg skit. I'm waiting for the bass to drop.
yeah.
It's got more treble than post-Ozempic Megan Trainor.
I will say that I did not expect Arabic to work that well with growling, because I've heard it used in just very like soft poetic instances all the time, and I did not expect it to sound that good as a death metal growl. So props to them for that.
Oh yeah, I do like the growling.
Yes.
I do tend to like black metal growls.
that they're driving home.
Yeah, when I could hear the vocalist through the production, which is pretty muffled. He sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of why I like that one song I mentioned, is because he is kind of in the front of the mix a bit.
Right.
Yeah. This could also be a cultural disconnect,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Like, again, like I did say that we are very privileged in our black metal selections, but also none of us speak Arabic.
Yes, that is the other thing. Not that it would be easy to understand if somebody was death metal growling, even, no matter what language it is. I always have trouble with that.
Yeah. Now, I also don't always pay attention to black metal lyrics to begin with, but I figure for a band like this, I should give them my due diligence.
Yeah.
As much as I can.
Anyway.
Even so, I feel like, there's a song, I'm obsessed with this fact, but like one of the songs on this album, Jabarut al-Shar, translates to the tyranny of evil. And that makes me think that this album was made by teenagers, because I'm like, yes, evil is tyrannical. Yeah. Very good.
Yep. Black metal is a very teenage genre.
Yes.
Particularly those 90s bands.
Yeah,
every
and
one
I'm
of those...
sure those 90s bands were like what these people were like huge on, like CDs that got smuggled into the country.
Every one of those racist
kids.
D-bag metal bands is like, like a teenager that was in jail for 30 years. Basically is what that is.
Yeah.
So, second album?
Yes. Second album.
Yeah. Second album.
What? Let's see. Why don't we do Cumbia Siglo XXI next?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Let's do 21.
I do have a bit more to say about this, but I think I have the most to say about the other one. So, I had heard a Meridian Brothers song before, and I don't remember much of it, but I do remember thinking it was pretty cool.
Okay,
right.
So a little background on Meridian Brothers.
Yes.
Is that the band? It's a fucking lie. It's a goddamn lie. It's not brothers. It's just one guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's one guy, Eblis Alvarez. He like
Oh my
writes, he
God.
records, he masters, he does everything.
Oh my
It's a Tame
God.
Impala situation, which confused me because he actually does have like a set, like a cadre of live musicians that he's always performing with, and he'll do
Yeah.
music videos with them. But no, they're not like credited as writers or anything. It's all like one guy.
Oh, that is crazy, actually, because I was convinced that it was a band because it is
I was
They're on the fucking album cover.
right, exactly,
They're on the cover of the album.
right. And see, the thing that got me here is whenever you talk about folk music, I was a little bit worried going into this of like, am I going to have, we talked about cultural context. Am I going to have the cultural context and everything? Because just whenever you get into any kind of like folk music genre, whether it's cumbia or I've recently been getting into it's like banjo kind of stuff because I like the way that Pete Seeger plays the banjo. But if I
Yes.
wanted to recommend you like a banjo album, you would immediately think of something that maybe wasn't up to par, or you would be worried that you didn't have enough cultural context. And the thing is I pressed play on this and immediately I was hit by, oh, this is incredibly my shit. This is
Yeah.
futurist cumbia music. In I think of what are they still going in 2/4 time? I think I did a little bit of reading on what cumbia is, but it's
Yeah. So basically, yeah, cumbia. It's a big umbrella, but basically, it's any music that goes like that
Yeah.
type of beat. It's usually in 2/4,
Right.
and there's two big types of cumbia that come from Mexico and Colombia. Now, I am Mexican, so I grew up with a lot of cumbia mexicana. A
Right.
lot of it, like, Selena is that type of music. It is very, and it is a bit, like, rigid when compared to cumbia colombiana, which is a lot more, like, open to experimentation and interpretation. There's a big, like, psychedelic influence.
Yeah, that is
psychedelic scene that comes out from South America in that time. And this guy just, like, really draw from a lot of that music. He seems like a genuine music nerd. I think he went to school in America, so he knows a lot of American music too.
that I was going to bring that
And,
up is that a lot of the songs, not only does the sort of timing of the beats move around, like maybe he's putting them together in the DAW without a grid or something, but also is he using microtones? Is it microtonal in multiple places? Because he sounds like Harry Parch in a lot of those songs, which I'm not opposed to. I love microtonal stuff, but I was sitting there going like, microtonal stuff in folk music is kind of like a big fuck you to the establishment of that genre, and I enjoy that.
Yeah,
Huh.
that would not surprise me. Yeah, because there are parts of, honestly, this entire band's discography that do sound a bit like, yeah, they're more microtonal than like a standard Western notation.
Right. Yeah, they're a little bit off pitch, and I was sitting there wondering, like, yeah, is he going off of some scale that either he devised or he like detuned the keyboards? But yeah.
I never thought about that.
Track 5, really, what you
yeah.
need to do.
Oh.
Track 5 on this album kicks fucking ass, and I just
Ooh,
wanted to
yes.
say that up front.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yes, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
We'll
Sorry,
get
I'm going
there.
out of order again. Sorry, I'm new to
Rumps
the
pump.
oh.
No, that's fine. You're
I'm
excited.
new to the
Yeah,
podcast.
it's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
You're
we'll
do-
do.
you're
I think we
doing
can do
great.
this one in order.
You're doing great, Blake. We love you.
We love you, Blake.
They're gonna cut all this out.
You're good.
No.
You have a good rapport with us. Okay, track
Yes.
1, Los Golpeadores de la Cumbia,
Yes.
which I translate as the strikers of cumbia because it sounds cooler. But golpear is like Spanish for to hit, to strike, to bang. So there's also like the hitters of cumbia, the bangers of cumbia. That's what the song is called.
Yep.
Oh, okay. This sounds like you took Kraftwerk and you funneled it through Colombian sensibilities and then drenched that in a 5-foot pool.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh yes.
It
really like
feels like it's held together with paper clips, but I mean that in a good way.
Yeah. Like, it's very kitschy.
Yes.
Complimentary.
Yeah, it does have so many of those, like, I love, like, the rings, that little stuttering drum that goes down. I love those, it's like a nice opening track. It does kind of, it's like inviting you into this world of, like, electronic, folky madness.
Right. And it is an album that lives up to its album cover because I think it's bright and psychedelic enough that you look at it and you go, okay, this is going to be something a little bit weird, and it immediately delivers on that with the stuttering of the beat and everything. So, very good intro that way.
Which, by the way, awesome album cover.
Yes,
I will say this
Oh,
is
yeah,
one
I
of
love that cover.
one of my favorite album covers of all time.
yeah,
So, I think this guy loves cumbia.
yes. Every track title has the word cumbia in it, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, most of them.
he wants you to know about it. He cares so deeply about this. And I think that's what kind of draws me to this artist more than, no offense, someone like Arca, is that like this guy feels like he does like care very deeply about his the music of his culture.
Right.
And, of cumbia and what it is. And I feel like there are a lot of artists in Latin America who are just trying to chase Western clout and aren't really that interested in dissecting their own heritage in any meaningful way.
Yeah, it gives like native or mestizo pride kind of vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
This is the
Moving
most
on to this-
mestizo album of all time.
oh yeah, no, I'd believe that.
It's up there.
Are we moving on to the second one? Because that one was
Oh, do you have anything else to say about the first one?
I'm good.
if we were moving on to the second one, this is the part where it actually really caught my ears because they, it doesn't sound like it at first, but they do go into a cover of "Son of a Preacher Man" by Dusty Springfield, which
Track 2,
Yeah.
Cumbia del Pichaman.
Beach Ya Man, yeah,
So we fly.
Yeah.
Well, you know that
Is it
Pichaman.
yes,
That's so
Which is
catchy.
apparently, which my friend from Chile told me that Pizza Man is a railroad station in the Male region of Chile.
huh? Wow.
I just assumed it was a transliteration of
yeah, I
Preacher
thought it was.
Man.
I thought it was. them
I'm
being-
still.
But
I'm pretty sure it's that.
it
Was the
sounds like it.
intention.
I'm pretty sure it's on purpose.
Yeah, it's like a double meaning. There's a lot of that on this
Okay,
album,
which-
and then the third one. Yes.
Like there are probably so many lyrics here that are puns or whatever that I don't get because I don't speak Spanish.
Kind of go over your head. Yeah. Most of the time for all of three of these albums, you tried to like focus on the music first, and then if I got translation of the lyrics, which I ended up getting just about a couple hours before we recorded, so I don't have that many remarks on that. But I was just focusing on the musical structures here, which obviously you hear the Preacher Man cover here, and I thought that was an interpolation like on Panini by Lil Nas X, but it's
Oh, you're serious when you said that.
no, I'm serious.
I don't know why I thought that was a joke when you said that. Sorry.
I'm not joking. I thought that he had written an entire song, and then the chorus was like calling back to the Dusty Springfield song, and it's been so long since I've heard that song that I didn't realize that they were just covering the entire song.
I will say, and I guess at least with this album, I can speak with a little more authority on the lyrics because
Right.
I don't speak Spanish like well, but I do speak a bit of it, and I've been around Spanish speakers my whole life. So
Right.
one thing I will say is, again, like about this song, these lyrics, it's super gay. Does not change the pronoun or the gender of the love interest. It's still a guy.
Good for him.
And the song is kind of explicitly turned about into a
Nice.
thing about sexual liberation. He's just this guy who's like, oh, I met this handsome son of a lord, and teaching me about sexual liberation and all that, which I guess was kind of the subtext of Son of a Preacher Man, was that the son of a preacher man, not the actual preacher man, wink wink. But with this song, I do like how it just dives headfirst into gay, and also that line in the, like, okay, that bleep in the middle?
Yes, I heard that there and on a couple tracks afterwards, and I figured that it was probably something that
there's a lot of repeating sounds on this album. I do. Right. It is kind of nice to give it a full listen to, but no, like
lyrics too.
Yeah, but that lyric in the middle translates to he was my first love, and he was a whore, but like whore is bleeped, and like the first time I heard like putas or pupitas, and I just laughed out loud. I burst out laughing. It was the funniest thing. Es mi primero amor, pijo la putas.
Yeah, bleeping actually makes a cuss word funnier than actually saying it, I find, because it's just the anticipation. Oh. So I laughed at that part too. I didn't even know what they were saying.
Like, have you heard censored versions of Johnny Cash's A Boy Named Sue? It makes it sound like he's saying something much worse.
Yes.
This song is fun. This is a fun song. Even if it does remind me of Son of a Preacher Man, I think it interpolates that pretty tastefully.
I don't even think it's I think it's a straight up cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like it's just. Granted, it's an interesting cover because "Son of a Preacher Man" is not a cumbia song. You did have to rework that a lot to make it sound like this, but he really did just go for it, and that's the second song on the album.
Yes,
I love that. What a great decision. I love this guy. What a wonderful brain.
What's the guy's name again?
Astfhl Alvarez.
I realized that I had a couple of his albums on my sort of like to listen list, and after I listened to this, I was like, okay, I have to check out this guy's whole discography, because he has what seems like about 10 or 15 other volumes of the or is the number on the album like accurate?
Well, what do you mean the number on the album?
Well, because the album is called Cumbia Siglo XXI, which means 21. And is this his 21st album? Because it's somewhere up there. It's double digits.
Siglo means century.
Oh.
This album name is Cumbia of the 21st century.
Yeah, he does have about 15 or something other albums, and they're all named like Cumbia something. So I figured that he was going by sequentially. Sorry.
But like I will say, there are like a lot of Meridian Brothers albums, and he has a side project he did called Chúpame el Dedo. That translates to "Suck the Finger," and that's like a Satanist cumbia like EP. It is. I know I shouldn't just toss something like really juicy like that, like Satanist psychedelic cumbia in the middle of this, but I did. I felt like it was worth mentioning.
Yes,
violence. We love it.
Anyway, if we're good with that, I'd say we can move on to track 3. Anybody else have any thoughts on "Son of a Puta Man"?
No,
that's all I got.
All right, then we move on to track 3, "Puya del Empresario."
Mm-hmm.
Which translates to "Puya of the Empresario."
Yep, and I've been told that puya is a type of plant that grows in the Andes.
Again, double meaning, maybe, probably. It's that is Andes. Colombia is a part of that. See, I know a puya as like it's like a spear that you use to herd cattle or goat livestock with.
Right. It's like a cattle prod.
Yeah, but like I guess an analog one.
Oh, like not shocked, like a whip.
It's just it's like a stick with a pointy end on it. And then empresario just means businessman or like one who tends to business. Although in the non-Spanish speaking world, the term empresario has a specific meaning because that was a program in Mexico where they would invite people to settle in the eastern portion of Coahuila y Tejas, modern day Texas, to, settle and domesticate. And then those became like the Anglos who rebelled against Mexico and fought for Texas independence once Mexico
And
got rid of
lost.
slavery.
And almost lost.
Yeah, and almost lost.
Sorry, I
'cause
live
they
in
were a bunch of
Texas.
They're a
I
bunch
live
of
in Texas, and
slave-owning
I'm also
fucking losers.
I'm in Texas, and I'm also like kind of like bitter about the fact that they always taught it like it was some huge victory, and then you go through the books, and then it turns out that they almost fucking lost.
Oh god, yeah, fucking god. Especially like I was homeschooled, but I remember getting that fourth grade Texas history textbook for like the social studies credit, and
Wow, yeah.
did not mention slavery once. No mentions
Damn.
of slavery when that was like the big reason, like they
You-
taught about Jose Antonio Navarro, and like I live in San Antonio. I see the Alamo often.
Right.
There's like a fucking this bullshit house that just says Casa Navarro. See where Jose Antonio Navarro lived. Oh, by the way, this is in the back. That's where his slaves lived. Don't fucking mention in the textbook that he had slaves. I don't know if I'm related to that
So you were
guy, but
homeschooled
fuck
too?
him.
Because I was also homeschooled for a little bit during I think it was like middle school and high school. What we can maybe cut this up, but what curriculum were you using? I just want to.
Oh man, I was homeschooled until like I was 14, and my parents they would just buy like textbooks directly from like McGraw Hill, and they were like, "All right, let's read this."
Oh, I thought I. Sorry, we can
Yeah.
cut that out. There was one that
Yeah,
I
I'll cut
used
it out.
called a Becca book, and it was sold by this organization called the Pensacola Christian College, and they were very conservative, and they had a rant against evolution in the middle of my math textbook for no fucking reason.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And we weren't even
hell?
Christian. We just heard that these guys were really good at teaching math and stuff, and so we got their math textbook. And in the middle, it just like, you may hear that mankind evolved from apes, and I'm like, I'm trying to learn multiplication. Excuse me.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yes.
Oh god, my parents were fucked up people, but thank God they were secular.
Right.
Like they stayed far away from that religion shit, and they made sure
Exactly.
me and my sister did too. Thank God for all those bullets I dodged.
A lot of Texas homeschooling is you have to go with the religious homeschoolers because they have the best community of people that'll like sell you books, and so yeah, that's implied. Anyway, back to
Anyway, so yeah, I bring up empresario, the like Texas meaning, to say that that's what this word means outside of the Spanish speaking world. In Spanish, it just means businessman, so it's not that significant.
Right.
And maybe that is also something that Eblis had in mind with regard, like, yeah, I am like, I've known this album for a bit, but I am starting to kind of see more of the double meanings or like kind of literary types of usage of words stuff that he's been doing now that I'm like really diving deep into it.
right.
And this
I just thought it was kind of cool sounding. Like there was a stutter effect about 2.5 minutes in that caught my ears in a good way. Like, ooh, okay, we're doing this now.
oh yeah.
It doesn't last long, but like I do remember it.
Oh yeah, this song goes hard. This is a song that you play on like a loudspeaker outside of a baseball game when you're
Yeah.
trying to tear the place the fuck up.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I just think that because it's also like it's a raw and rough sounding synth.
Oh yeah, I do like my raw sounds.
And it
Very,
does go
very
hard.
oscillatory. All of the keyboards on this album are very like, they sound like they were soldered together by, and I think that's by design.
Yeah.
Anyway, what track are we on? 4?
Yeah, that was 4.
Oh, no,
wait, that's 3.
That was 3. Then we're going to move on to 4. Cumbia de la Igualdad. Cumbia
Equality,
of
cumbia.
equality.
Right.
Of equality. Which, by the way, I would say, like lyrically, this has the kind of clearest distillation of the politics of the album, which is egalitarianism and friendship.
Like there was one lyric I wrote down because it's so badass. I have water from fresh fruit. I'll mix it with my urine. I'll splash it to the politicians. Get the violence messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very. That's the kind of stuff they used to write about in Tropicalia in Brazil. There was a song. It's called Penis e Circenses by Os Mutantes that has something kind of like that, where somebody lets loose a tiger in the middle of a dinner party and it kills everybody. And it reminded me of that.
I gotta listen to that Os Mutantes album someday.
This
yes,
album
it
is
is very good. And
this album
so is this.
Dark woke.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the first line starts off with by calling out machismo in particular. So it really does let you know straight away where he stands on. I mean, as if the gay cover of Son of a Preacher Man didn't let you know that this guy doesn't like machismo.
Yeah, the song is very based.
Incredibly so. And it's got a nice little quick. It's fast paced. It's up tempo. Got a nice little. I don't know if those are. It's some kind of electronic drums. That goes, and then there's a car door ajar noise near the end of it. I think that's pretty cool.
Right.
Honestly, yeah, it might literally be just a car ajar noise, a car door ajar, I should say.
So basically, he beat Kim Deal to that, Kim Gordon, not Kim Deal.
Ooh, that's right. Damn.
Oh.
Kim, don't culturally appropriate.
She do something recently with found sounds like that, or?
Oh yeah, the song Bye Bye off of her album from last year has a car ajar door sound effect as part of a trap beat.
Wow. Okay, I have to pick up that. You might have to trade links after this.
Oh yeah, that whole album's awesome. We talked about it.
We need to keep a list of shit we reference that we need to look up more.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
Cumbia de la Fuente is the next track.
It's
and,
track 5.
I mentioned this at the top because I was so excited because it was my freshest memory from the album. Is this one just immediately I was on its level because that beat hits hard and
oh god, yes,
catchy as hell. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure what the lyrics are even on my own album, which I'll get into later, the reasoning behind that later, but I immediately heard track 5 and went, okay, Foxx got me a banger for a recommendation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
God. Oh God. It's so frustrating being the only kind of. I kind of know Spanish on it because lyrically this. I mean, this is my favorite song on the album. I'm gonna say I think it's a good centerpiece for the project. I think it does so many great things with the psychedelia, and then lyrically it is just about Cumbia de la Fuente. Fuente means source, but it also can mean fountain or springs. It's kind of going at the essence, but I think source is probably the best translation in this context because it's going for, or it has themes of cosmic universality stuff. It warns of demons who want to suck our souls. They force us to sing. They want to eat us. It's very kind of, I don't know. It's almost like if you had to write like a song like this about Cthulhu, I think lyrically that's kind of what
very
it's getting at.
eldritch.
It's just like this in awe of something that like the humans cannot understand. It's
Right.
like but knows enough to be intimidated by it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, this one's badass.
Yeah, it is very. I love how dreamy it sounds. Like it's like the synths are very dreamy, but not in a way synths normally are. Like there's something about the way that they're programmed here that just I can't really say I've heard elsewhere, but I want more of it.
It's the microtonalism, honestly. I wonder if it is influenced by stuff like Harry Parch or maybe because I think this is after the album that King Gizzard did. I don't know how if
it is.
Yeah. And I don't know. It catches your ear every time somebody does like a weird tone center like that, because and especially to make it sound good is because I think we get so used to the usual 12 tones that it becomes easy to build harmonies off of that. But then when you switch to a new mode or a new set of tones like that, so I respect his ability to make pop songs that bang that hard with the notes that he's using.
True that.
Same.
Track 6
And
Do track 6. Cumbia de la Amistad, aka Cumbia of Friendship.
yes, I was
and
going to ask you what that
dogs.
word meant, and I thought I knew.
Well, it's actually Spanish for irony.
Yes.
If you know, that's I don't know that maybe it's a specific joke, but I love it. But no, yeah, Cumbia Amistad, Cumbia Friendship, and on this one, Eblis is shouting out his perros, his dogs.
yay!
Nice.
And I love
Perros.
I do love that he's saying dog that means the same in English and it doesn't as it does in Spanish. Like
Wait, does
you know,
it? Does it really?
Well, yeah, and that it's I mean that like if in English you say these are my dogs, you kind of know these are my friends,
Right.
and he's using the word perros, which means dogs, in the same context. He's like me and my dogs paint reality because I am who I am.
Badass.
And I also love that stuttering drum. I love when he shouts, "Mi perritos!" My little dogs. This little dogs.
I don't think my little dogs would have as much of a force in like American music. I don't think you could be referred to as somebody's little dog and have it be as cool, but he pulls it off.
Right.
Well, this guy is contra machismo. That's just the
Yes.
type of... But he is. That's right.
Track 7 here is
Yeah. Track 7, Cumbia del Relicario, a.k.a. Cumbia of the Reliquary, which means a thing where relics are.
oh,
At this
okay.
point in the album, I'm kind of running out of things to say.
Yeah,
For a
they're
lot of
all
these.
they're like you said, it's vibes, but the individual tracks are definitely things that you would hear in like a club or something like that. There's about 10 tracks altogether, and definitely good for individual listening. It's just that the themes here, I guess. Thank you to Foxx for sort of expounding on these a little bit more. But yeah, the theme is the main focus because every song is a cumbia track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, like, I will say this is about the point where the album, I'm not going to say loses steam, but it doesn't, like, hit you with any more surprises.
Yeah, this is the home
from this-
stretch.
yeah, from this point on, it's like stuff that we've heard before. Although this one I do like in particular, partially because I love that hook is just the most anti-melodic thing that they tried to turn into something catchy, and it does kind of work.
Oh, I love that
Okay,
shit.
yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's up. It's like to me that's basically what Swans does.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of words in that, but it translates to, because if that reliquary of kisses that I offered you made to oblivion, crucified and trembling with rage, with tears in his eyes, he dismantled the nest. Now imagine that as a chorus sung in like 6 seconds.
Sorry, that is some
Spanish.
like I've been reading a lot of like epic Greek and Roman poetry for a project, and that is something that would be in there.
Yeah.
It's like
Sounds about right.
very very like ancient ancient like wordy poetry shit. Props
Honestly,
to him for that.
reliquary is like such a cool word for him to like pick up. I'm like, damn, I'm impressed that he used that word.
It's
That's
such
awesome
a cool
word.
I don't
word
even know
for
what
him
that
to use
means.
that I don't. Yeah, I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, it's just a place where you store relics, like religious
Yeah.
relics.
Oh, it's like a museum or like a not a museum, but like the place in like a Catholic church where they'll have like like little statues or
Yeah.
or like this they try to tell you that this was like Mary's like finger or something like that, and to each his own, but
This is the chair that Jesus sat in when he went to 4th grade.
right, yeah. Reminds me of the only good Scott Adams joke was gets sold by somebody, sells him Jesus's football, and they go, "This isn't a football, it doesn't have any stitches," and he goes, "They healed."
Okay, Scott Adams gets that.
One point for
I
Scott
hate
Adams.
giving anything to Scott Adams.
Yeah, we all do, but
Yeah. Oh man, but Dilbert though, God, fucking. There
it was a
a
mainstay
time-
for office culture for a reason. But the reason was that he didn't talk as much.
Yeah.
He didn't give interviews.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, so yeah, the next track, we're on the last 3 tracks, and I guess we can kind of, I don't know, I feel like I could speed run through these.
Right.
Yeah.
Cumbia totalitarian cumbia, which I just give this note, music from Colombian cell phones.
Oh yeah.
I noted that the way this starts, it sounds like I'm hearing 3 different beats playing out of time and being introduced, and then all of a sudden they just coalesce into a coherent beat. Like that's some Captain Beefheart shit right
Yeah,
there.
I was
love it.
immediately gonna say it's like Frownland.
Yeah, it's not as catchy as the rest of the album, but I do love how that kind of madness coalesces together.
Yeah.
And then the lyrically it's pretty simple. He's repeating like my dogma is very secure over and over again, which is like
Right.
it's about the vibe is the title of the song. It's totalitarian cumbia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the next one is Cumbia de la Soledad, the Cumbia of Solitude.
We go from Captain Beefheart opening to the Police opening,
Yeah,
specifically Roxanne.
there's a little bit of syncopation in there.
Yeah, the song is better than Roxanne though.
Loneliness on this earth, I become a gang member. I honestly, I kind of fuck with Roxanne a bit. I know I shouldn't, but I don't know.
I just hate Sting. I hate COD reggae.
Ooh, you know what? I don't. Damn, fuck. You're so right. You're so fucking right. Cop reggae is ass, and if I didn't grow up with the Police, I probably wouldn't like them.
Yeah.
But
did.
I
That's
did.
probably why.
But I did. Fair enough. I did see Sting live with Billy Joel with my ex, and my ex loved Billy Joel but didn't know Sting, and I loved the Police. I don't like Sting's solo work, but I love the
Right.
Police, and I didn't really know or care about Billy Joel. Sorry, y'all. I'm neutral on him, and
Right,
I
the-
thought it
the
was
main-
funny how like
the
you're
main
each having
talent
fun
in the-
half the concert.
The
No,
main
you're
talent
right.
in the Police is the drummer, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because and I think it was somebody that I know pointed that out. Is the most exciting part of the song "Message in a Bottle" is the drum beat that the guy's playing in the background. And
Mm-hmm.
now that song comes on, that's all I can focus on, and I don't even care about the vocals.
I mean,
Oh,
also,
that's a good
the
point.
best the best Police song is the one that doesn't have Sting on it, Mother. So
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's not Sting.
no, that's
Oh, wow.
no, that's Andy.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
Cumbia de la Soledad.
You ever try to play "Don't Stand So Close to Me" on drums on Rock Band? That shit is like hard to like get a consistent rhythm going.
I know exactly.
It's just
they-
interesting. That's all I wanted to say. Anyway,
One of the best
yeah.
drummers. But anyway,
Also, there's also the a recurring lyric that comes here. Like last time, pure equality.
Yeah,
That
so
recurs throughout the album.
pura igualdad, like that. Yeah, you hear that a lot throughout the album, and it does like pura doesn't mean pure, but in slang, puro means also it can mean like yeah, like so it's I think it's less pure equality and it's more yeah equality, like and like pinche puro means fuck yeah. X. So like I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, so people will often say puro pinche RGV or puro pinche 956, where it's just like yeah, fuck yeah RGV or fuck yeah 956.
right.
So I think that's the context it's using for. He's not literally calling it pure. It's more like a chant, an aspiration.
Okay.
And then the Cumbia de los Proletarios, which immediately my ears perked up for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't need to translate this one.
Yes.
Yeah, the lyrics do not disappoint.
Yeah, take this job and shove it ass song. I love
Yes. For the
Yeah,
workers. or
and
whatever.
ironically enough, I finally have a job again. I got
Yes.
one in between last episode and this one.
Congratulations to Mage for that
Congratulations! Hell
one.
yeah!
I was around to hear about that.
Maybe I can.
Now you can play.
Maybe
Now
I
you
can
can-
escape West Virginia.
Maybe you can play this song for your coworkers and be like, "This song is about us. This song is about us, you guys. I'm having such a good
And
time."
I'll show them the most unwanted song.
Turn to your gringo boss and be like, "Yeah, no, this song is about working hard. Great."
I mean, one of my fellow coworkers is a metalhead, so
No.
Sick.
I could probably show someone there some of the crazy shit I listen to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's got to get in some of that sleepy time.
Start with like
Museum.
Mike Patton or something like that and work from there. No.
I don't listen to Mike Patton. I actually haven't really listened.
Okay, I'm leaving the call now. No, kidding.
Oh.
I haven't really listened to. Okay, one day I'll
What
listen.
fucking podcast did you invite me to? No.
Hey, I didn't know. I didn't know. She's from the mountains, okay?
Yes.
They don't have internet up there. You can't bring the album California into Appalachia. They shoot you on sight just for saying
Yeah.
that word. Okay,
We
California.
use it as a frisbee.
exactly.
Yeah. You gotta go out California way.
Right. So
That's
moving
where
on,
they got all the internet.
moving on to album 3.
I just thought.
think-
Actually, wait. I will just like to finish up some thoughts. I will say with this one, Cumbia de los Proletarios. It's a fine song. I don't think it's a very good closer, especially considering how strong the opener was at like, easing you into the sounds here. I kind of wish that the final song went a little more all out or a little more spectacular or something. And yeah, I do feel like the last three songs, they're fine, they're good, but they are kind of, in the context of the album, I don't get,
He does have
the momentum halts a bit.
he does have enough albums where it kind of seems like he doesn't expect people to get to the end of all of his albums before they put on the next one. So maybe that's what that is.
I will say, this album, it never really gets cooler than, like, sound-wise than when it begins, but it remains pretty consistently cool sounding throughout.
It's more like a zone. It's
Yeah.
a zone you go into.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, okay, so moving on from there to the Cumbia sort of zone to the Neil Young and Eagles type zone is my album, which is Kazemachi Roman by Happy End. Came out in 1971. Now, normally, when you're doing like a collection of albums that's like non-English, it's sort of considered hack or cliche to go for albums that are like Japanese, because Japanese music is kind of common. Everything that we have gets like exported over there, and everything that they have usually gets imported over here. So and Foxx.
And I feel very embarrassed that you said that, because when we were in this group chat and we were suggesting, the themes and the albums for this episode, and then you put in Happy's End, I was like, well, I was going to say In a Model Room by P Model. I can't be the person who does a second Japanese album. That's so...
Yeah, and I was thinking of...
bland.
I was thinking of Itakoma Hits by Otoboke Beaver.
Yeah, it's very common because, Japan does have a lot of interesting stuff that Americans kind of don't usually hear, I think. I was just thinking about, like, the Boredoms played one of the main stages at Lollapalooza in 1994, which is still crazy to me to think about. And I think Merzbow has always been more popular over here than in Japan, and all kinds of stuff like that. So we definitely know about the little tiny, like, niche parts of the genres and everything. But I wanted to know a little bit more about J-pop as a whole a couple of years ago. I think this was pre-pandemic, and this is how I found out about this. This album really stuck with me because I was making a zine about all of these albums were getting uploaded to YouTube because the copyright system on YouTube wasn't detecting the Japanese albums, I don't think. And so it made it sort of a goldmine for cataloging of Japanese records. And weird thing about the Japanese music industry is it actually used to be discouraged to make best of lists of Japanese albums in the Japanese music industry, because the label bosses, for whatever reason, had this superstition that said that if you made a list of the best albums in, like, Rolling Stone Japan or whatever, it would completely crater the music industry, because by their estimation, the reason why the Japanese music industry is doing so good compared to everybody else isn't because of the lack of streaming popularity, isn't because people want to be trendy or whatever. It's because they just don't know that there's older music for some reason. It was some sort of assumption that they were making. And Rolling Stone Japan really wanted to make one of these. So, and finally in 2007, they said, okay, we're just gonna publish 100 best Japanese language albums. And number one on the list was Kazemachi Roman. And I listened to it, and immediately what stuck out to me is that it's like an Americana album in Japanese, which is so subtle of a sort of weird texture that it doesn't necessarily jump out at you. It's not one of those things that you can't play for your family or your whatever, like a lot of the things that record collectors and everything listen to, myself included. But it's just so calming and everything, but I had never heard anything like it. And it had not been imported to America yet. So I wanted to cover it on this podcast because the story is actually kind of interesting, and so is the music. The music influenced a lot of like Animal Crossing. There's a song on here, and this is why I was jumping around. This is how I kind of structured my section. But there's a song on here, Kazuo Atsumate, which is the third one, and that song, I showed it to my girlfriend, and she was immediately like, "This sounds like something from Animal Crossing," and as a matter of fact, like that is kind of what it sounds like. It was popular enough to have been an influence of it. Any thoughts? Hold on, you guys are like silent.
Yep, these are some. Oh yeah, these band is a Marabou's, all right. This is the late '60s, early '70s equivalent of Panty and Stocking. You know, these are people who are just like, we love American culture. Let's do our own thing of American culture.
Yes,
and they went for it, and you know, like many things, they did it better than we did. I think I'm actually not a huge Eagles fan, but yeah, no, this I fuck with this.
I'm not an Eagles fan either, but I am a Neil Young fan.
Nor am I with the Eagles, but I thought that this was definitely, texturally, this was very, very well done. They were very on point with all of this. One thing I wanted to bring up, are you guys familiar with the Yellow Magic Orchestra?
Yes.
I've heard of that.
So,
yeah.
This is Harumi Hosono's first band. This is why Harumi Hosono was famous.
No shit.
He's one of the singers in this band, and this album made him a nationwide in Japan rock star because it's a concept album about the 1964 Olympics. And the 1964 Olympics were the first time in about 20 years that Japan was going to be seen as like a major force in the world since like 1944, 45. And they were really like amped to go see it. There's a movie out there. It's a documentary. It's called Tokyo Olympiad. Came out in '65, and you can see some footage from it. But it was a major sort of event for Japanese boomers because the Americans came over and they were actually like happy to see everybody in Japan rather than, you know, being bitter or angry. And they learned a lot about American style. That's what a word that comes up on this album a lot, haikata. It means like Western fashion. And so this is about seeing a lot of stuff from America and sort of assimilating it into Japanese culture, which honestly is also what the album sound is. But this was one of the best-selling...
And it is a sound.
Yeah. This is one of the best-selling records in Japan. The first best-selling record in Japan to be all Japanese language, too. Because after World War II, when J-pop was first getting started, they wanted to market to the soldiers that were being stationed in Japan at that time because they were a major driving force in like buying music. So they wanted it to sound Western, and they also wanted it to be Western, so they wanted it to be majority English. And these guys were like, well, we write poetry better in Japanese, and we want to write our songs in Japanese. We're definitely going to do like an American sound. But the guys at the record label were like, you can't make an album that's just in Japanese and be like a big pop band that everybody listens to, because the soldiers in America or from America on the naval bases aren't going to want to buy that and listen to it. And they ended up becoming like the #1 album in the country for about 2 weeks, which completely destroyed the illusion that they had to sing in English in order to be popular. And so this is a major milestone. Nice. Which is insane that this hadn't been released in America when I first heard of it.
Damn, he was also the Bad Bunny of the late 60s, early 70s.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly.
Wow.
And this whole album is so tonally like perfect in terms of country music. There's one song on here, the second one, where a guy actually yodels. He does like a yodeling.
I noticed that.
Yeah, let's get to the first track on
right,
this.
Let's go track by track, okay? I got it kind of ahead of myself, but yeah.
For the track 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Dakishimatai, yes.
Yeah, Dakishimatai, which it's been a while since I've actually heard the translations. I just mostly go by the music, but it is a very strong start to this, where it almost kind of reminds me of a sunrise, the way the first notes kind of start out, which is the moment where I knew that, like, I was expecting more of kind of like a normal J-pop sort of sound, but this is the part where I was like, okay, I need to keep listening to this, because it sounded like something that my dad or somebody would listen to. It sounded like John Denver or something like that, and or you know, one of those things like James Gang or something like that. And
this is very 70s complimentary.
Yes,
and I don't say that.
Yeah,
I don't say that very often.
Like, this is very much of that. This is reminiscent of that whole Laurel Canyon scene, like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell,
Yeah.
stuff. And I love that stuff.
Oh, interesting thing about the as you're sort of the album starting out. Usually when you watch it on YouTube, that's when the album cover comes out. So did you guys know there's a photo of 4 people on the front cover, and Foxx pointed out that it might have been referenced by an album that he likes. Which one was it? I'm scrolling up here.
Yeah. Natural History by Dope Body.
Yeah.
Which is that album came out in 2012, and I've liked that one for, you know, at least since the pandemic, when I started listening to all the albums that Fantano liked, and came across that one. And yeah, it is like just similar to it's like a drawing in pencil of the 4 members of the band, and
I was gonna say the drawings on the cover look like photographs. They're realistic enough to be photographs, but they were actually drawn by a mangaka, which I didn't know until right before we started recording, and I've been listening to this album for years. I did not know that those weren't photographs.
I didn't know that either. That's
incredibly
awesome.
Detailed pencil drawings. Anyway, yeah, a lot of gruff vocals from I think it's like Harry Hosono or the other vocalist in the band, and for track number 1, and it kind of sets the tone for what they're kind of going for. There's a lot of kind of slidey guitar solos and everything, and then anything else y'all want to point out?
I noticed.
It sounds warm.
I noticed that
Yes.
with the lyrics, they seem very very warm, pastoral, like evocative of the countryside.
Yeah.
And as someone who lives in the countryside, that definitely hits with me.
I believe the album was divided into 2 halves. So the first half was called Air, but I think it's about the country, and then the second half was called City, which is where they get into some more of the there is some political stuff a little bit, but we'll get into that as we go along.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Making a little bit of sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a bit of that.
Yep.
Move on.
So track number 2
Track
is Soreo no Korean, which I'm not sure exactly what all of these song titles mean. I think Mage or Foxx had the translation.
Yeah, what I was able to... Actually, I think these translations come from the Wikipedia article.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, this one means sky blue crayon.
Yes. And interesting to note, Harumi Hosono had a solo career after this as sort of a country songwriter. He was very into like country kind of stuff. But it's interesting to note that this actually isn't by Harry Hosono. It's by another guy in the band who was a songwriter. And he did most of the really, really country-tinged stuff. And by really, really country-tinged, I mean that in the middle of the chorus, he busts out like one of the most like genuine sounding like Hank Williams yodels that I think I've ever heard in my life. And it was such a shock to me listening to this album that was the point where I locked in.
I mean,
Yeah, that'll do it.
that was kind of that point for me too. Like I was already like, oh, this sounds like very pleasant and warm, and then that came on, and then yeah, it was like that moment in I forget what track it was on the Meridian Brothers album, but like that was my moment of like, okay, this is like I'm paying attention to this. I'm
this
really
is
paying
something
attention
else.
to this.
Yeah. This and like I said, this album stuck out the most from my research of the J-pop sort of industry, because it does sort of lean into the country western influence more genuinely and harder than I've ever seen anything lean into it. And then we have anything else you guys want to add? Or
Yeah. So, there were lyrics I picked up that made me think that this could have been the perspective of a child developing a crush. And I really liked your floral dress looked so good on you, it wouldn't fit in my pocket, which felt like a way, which I took as a way of saying, I wish I could take you home with me.
right.
But I have no idea if that's just a,
Well, a lot of it
I know
again is I think it's based on, because this is around the time where everybody in Japan started to Japanese and American fashion kind of started to meld, and there was modern fashion in Japan, of course, but it was based off of like kind of like how people used to dress, and then the Americans came over and they were wearing like blue jeans and all kinds of bikinis that were really like revealing and everything like that, and people started dressing kind of like that. So that might actually be a little bit, it won't fit in my pocket or whatever. It might have been, she might have been wearing like something that was a little bit skimpy. I don't know, but then we have track number 3. This is interesting because this is Harry Hosono by himself. The rest of the band is not on this track, which is really odd to note after having listened to this album for years. This is basically Harry Hosono all by himself with the bass and the guitar and everything. And this song was actually in Lost in Translation in the background. And I think one of the guys in the band Red Cross heard this song and picked it for that album. He was the music director, but I think that was the first time that had ever been heard in America. And it is a really kind of, he's playing the organ on there too, and all kinds of stuff, and just really sort of light kind of stuff. And
I guess knowing that, that doesn't surprise me that he would like join Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Yeah,
like later on in his career.
It doesn't surprise me at all. It's a very songwriter based album. I think most of the songs are by two people. I'm blanking on the other people's names because they didn't become as famous as Harry Hosono from this band, but he was one of the main driving forces there, and you can see, if this band was kind of
I'm looking up the other members of this band are at least according to Rate Your Music, Eiichi Otaki, Takashi Matsumoto, and Shigeru Suzuki.
Yeah, it's the first guy. The first guy wrote all of the really country based. Yeah, Otaki wrote all of the really country based ones, and he wrote the Korean one, which has all of the slide guitars, which I would have immediately thought that Hosono wrote that one, but I don't. Apparently not. But then, if we can move on to track number 4, and I saw it's called something like "The Squirrels in the Park," or something like that, and it sounds kind of like that. It's like a little ditty that I think they wrote. But it's not like a throwaway track. It's just really high tempo, and it's over very quickly. And they're singing along and everything, and it's those kind of vibes it's like the same kind of songs that they would have on like an album like this from America, that there would be like a little song in there about like something kind of dumb, but I'm not sure. I haven't read all of the lyrics, so I'm not entirely.
Yeah, this one just I didn't really pick up much from lyrics. It just felt like a vibe to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, I get, and like I will say that is a trend. You know, like with Al-Namrood, you got lyrics about how Nimrod was a cool guy and how Sharia law is bad. You know, Cumbia Siglo XXI, you've got, you know, lyrics about how equality and egalitarianism is important, and you know we got to beat the fascists. On Kazemachi Roman, the lyrics are, life, it's pretty good, you know.
Yeah,
It's just a ride. You got to go along for the ride.
it's good. It's a very good like summer and autumn kind of album. It is very 70s, but in a complimentary way. It's you can tell it kind of came out at the end of the hippie era, and it does kind of sound like that. This is like,
Oh yeah, the hippie era turning into the era of like polished like pop rock of the 70s.
yeah, Japanese people heard about all of the country rock that people played in their trucks and were like, we need some of that. So I guess this is that for them. And
This is definitely right in my sweet spot of like, you know, having like rough grittiness, or maybe that's not the right way to put it, but like having that like the rough production of the 60s mixed with the polish of the 70s.
yes,
This is like this is a nice balance for me. I like that a lot about the songs here.
right. So can I move on to number 5? Is Haikara Hakuchi, which I didn't realize the name of it is like 3 different puns at once. I didn't realize.
Huh.
Apparently, so it means so Haikara is like a pronunciation of high collar fashion or something like that, which so it means like high collar idiot. And then the actual syllables, if you say it slowly, it means something like bleeding out from the neck, and then it also means something like Dr. Haikara or something like that. So it's 3 puns at the same time, which I thought was amazing. But it starts out with the only English lyrics on the entire album, which is a guy in the microphone. He calls himself Banai Tarao. And Haikara is beautiful. And I was looking that up, and Banai Tarao is not a real person. That is a pseudonym of Otaki, the guy who was also working on this. And it's the name of a fictional detective in a book series. It's like Colombo. And they pretended that he was in the studio with them for some reason, and I didn't know that about them. But
Okay, that is pretty cool.
But yeah,
That reminds me of Ugly Casanova's story.
right. It's but yeah, it's just that I think Haikara Hakuchi is literally. I mean, just based on the vibe and everything like that. I think it's about like a guy falling in love with a woman who dresses like Westernly, and it's like, you make me act like an idiot or whatever. But I haven't read the translated lyrics. I think that's what it translates to. Anybody? I know some people were looking for the English translated lyrics, and I wasn't entirely sure if there were any, but there might be now.
I mean, I'm trying to like Google Translate them on Genius, but my phone is being stupid.
Oh,
I just did that, so I ended up doing that.
Hell yeah.
So that's where I'm getting my stuff. So a lot of it may also end up being wrong because of that.
And I gotta say, with regard to anything that we have or you'll have translated, you know, me knowing about a third of the Spanish language and, you know, all of like the context that I've had to do to unpack the Meridian Brothers translation, you know, even with my cursory knowledge of the subject, you know, not accounting the things that I had missed and things that I even don't know that I missed. I can only imagine how like hard that must be to translate shit from Arabic or Japanese, languages that
Right.
don't even share a language tree as English. So you know,
Well, Spanish
if
wasn't
you're
Spanish
we're
wasn't
trying our
supposed
best.
to share a language tree with English, but because English is Germanic, but the French took over, so you can thank the French
Oh,
for that.
I mean, I was thinking like Indo-Aryan.
Oh, oh,
Like we're
yeah,
not
I
in the
think
like
further
we're
down
Indo-Aryan.
there.
Like Arabic doesn't even have like the same like roots like way back the fuck when. And then
Right.
obviously with Japanese, you know, these are like they developed independently. I guess that's the term I was thinking of.
Even
like,
though
more
Japanese
broadly.
does have a lot of loan words from English, and I think that's the only context that I'm able to grasp from this. But then any other thoughts? Because I was just gonna just breeze right over the there's two songs at the end of each side that are just like little jingles, and I think the record company probably said you have to make 12 songs, and they were like, we don't have 12 songs, so I think they just put some audio of them, fucking around, but fucking around in a way that sounded nice at the end of
Yeah, I
the
believe
record. And
That would make sense.
the Haikara Beautiful song is credited to Banai Tarao, the detective, on the record sleeve. And then onto Natsu Nandesu, which is I think this and the song right after it are the centerpiece of the album. But Natsu Nandesu is something like I don't have the Wikipedia page in front of me because I was like sitting there going, oh, I'll remember that, and then I closed it out. But it's something about sunrise, I believe, or
Well, Natsu Nandesu is this just says "'Tis the Summer."
yeah,
That's what
it's
I
the
got.
summer, and then it's just a very chill song, a lot like the third one, and I think it was released as a single back in the day. I think it was this and the next song were on a single together as for promotional, and it does make a lot of sense. Um, if I can I sort of do these two together. Um, the the next song after that is named after a kids game that you play like a sort of a Red Rover kind of thing, and I think that's also what it's based on. And the vocal harmonies in that one are amazing.
Oh, you mean Hana Ichimone,
Yeah, this is Hana
the greatest
Ichimone.
song of all time?
Oh, you really like that one?
But yeah, this might be my favorite song on all three of these albums here.
This
And
is a really good song.
I don't know, because it's like, okay, for like this album, it's very vibey, but I feel like some of the individual songs kind of with it, but then it's like, they found it. They found like that one hook that like they
Exactly.
can center everything around, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is like the exemplary, and apparently it was the only single
Yeah,
from the album, which makes perfect sense. I know you said this did well. The album did well on the charts. I imagine the song had to have been pretty. I feel like I must have heard this one before,
it
or
sounds
maybe
very
it's
similar,
so
but I don't
it's so
know.
timeless, so iconic. Like
Right.
yeah, it's like the Eagles is in the city.
Yeah,
And
and
it kind of reminds me a bit of like "In the City" by the Eagles.
exactly. It's
As
it's
weird
the
as that may
Eagles, but
sound.
better, honestly, because the Eagles, there is
Yeah.
sort of a. I don't want to be like thing versus thing Japan or whatever, but there is sort of a genuine
Don
the
Henley didn't have the balls to be a member of like Devo or Kraftwerk. Maybe
yeah.
if Don Henley
Exactly.
had those balls, the Eagles wouldn't suck.
right the sort of
Yeah.
but I will say that the amount of research that Harry Hosono and Otaki did with country music, it indicates that they were actually serious about this, and it comes out in their singing, I think, and it makes it at least seem like it's a little bit more genuine compared to some of the shit that the Eagles did, where every time I listen to their cover of Old 55, I can feel my fingernails and my hair growing, even though that song's only 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
But-
They're also late '60s, early '70s Viagra boys.
Yes.
Oh God.
They also used to rip off waitresses. Did you ever hear about that story?
Oh shit! I didn't.
I
What?
believe it.
They
No, I
they
did
used
not
to
hear that
print
story.
up. They used to print up little. You know how the evangelical like preachers and everything would leave those like little tracts that look like dollar bills, and it looks like $100 bill, so that.
Yeah.
They would do that, but it was like a counterfeit bill where George Washington was replaced by like an eagle smiling, and they would leave a whole stack of them for the waitress, and then she get with one $10 bill on top, and then she'd get back and realize that the rest of the stack were these like fake eagle dollar bills. And it's the scummiest thing I think I've ever heard of a band doing, quite frankly.
I'm going to be honest. When you said ripping off the wait, I thought you meant the band, the waitresses. I was getting ready to hear a story about some fucking Patty Donahue drama with some 70s band. I didn't think it was going to be like... they're
just being shitty to minimum wage workers.
Ripping off a waitress, that is sub Viagra Boys behavior.
Yes, yes.
Even the Shrimp Fest does not approve of tipping. Although, because that's a Texan value. Texans tip, fucking Swedes don't, and they're rebels. They're rebels. They tip the waitstaff. They will offer you food when you're a guest in your home because they're fucking rebels and they don't give a fuck.
Yes. I was gonna say no. It comes through in their lyrics, and the Hana Ichi Monme song is a really good hook, and it does make sense that this is the main single because God, every time you listen to this album, I think you pick a song that's like, oh, that's the centerpiece of the album, because they all kind of blend together, but it allows you to pick like your favorite every time you listen to it. And this time around, I had got that idea in my head of like, I'm gonna listen to the 8th track first, and you're right, that one does slap a lot. Anything else y'all wanted to add there?
It's the best song ever.
Yeah, no,
That's all I got.
I'm glad.
I want this song
actually,
to play the end credits of my life.
Yeah, no, it does sound like it. Every one of these songs sounds like the triumphant musical like overture of a coming of age, or like indie teen comedy or something like that. It does have that kind of like nostalgic vibe. It's like
Play this song at my funeral when they launch my coffin into the atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, it's like a Napoleon Dynamite at the end where they're playing like the little kickball, and it starts playing The Promise by Alphaville or whatever. It's one of those things.
Wait, what's it Alphaville? I thought it was one in Rome. There's
so
many of those bands.
Oh, it's one of those. I thought it was Alphaville. I don't fucking know. But
sorry.
So the next song, if I can move on to that one is kind of an explicitly political one, because they're trying to be polite about it, but it is kind of political because, like I said, Japan was a military deployment country, a military base country, and for the United States after World War II, and they would get a bunch of like Vietnamese or like Vietnam War veterans who turned into hippies and went to Japan to just because they were on base, and they got deployed to Japan, and they just became like hippies, and they would come to the shows and all this stuff. And by 1971, it already was not going too good for the Vietnam people. It was for the Vietnam vets. It was starting to kind of downturn and was starting to look like they were either going to lose the war, or if they won, they were going to be committing war crimes. And having grown up in World War II, where you weren't allowed to, criticize Japan's military, and you weren't allowed to say that people committed war crimes, they kind of just like felt really bad, because it's like, obviously these guys know what's up, but they can't say anything. So you can't go up to a like a soldier in Vietnam, in the Vietnam era, and go, hey, sorry, you're getting your asses kicked. So they just said, "We wish for better days tomorrow," which is like, we hope that things get better. And then I guess if they asked, like, what does that mean? They just go, nothing, and then they would just leave. So that's what that song is about.
There's a translated lyric, or the lyric I Google translated. It's in the last verse. It says, "An unexpected rainbow appeared on the street where the destroyer was floating just a moment ago." And
Yeah.
I like how optimistic that is.
It's hoping for peace, but it's also like the album is kind of about how from afar America looks cool, but I think they're sort of admitting that when you see it up close, it kind of it's not, just like with Americans in Japan, it's not as glamorous when you see either country up close, and I think that's what that song's about.
I guess you kind of have to do a song like this if you're like aping American music this hard,
Right,
know?
yeah.
Just to kind of let people know you're not like or that like kind of you understand like where the bread is buttered in
Yeah.
this relationship.
Anything else to add there?
I do not have
Okay,
anything
and
else
then
to
I do
add.
not either.
Moving on to the next track, which is the only kind of drag in my opinion on the album, but it is kind of interesting. They do like a blues number called Typhoon.
Oh, I love this song.
Oh, I mean it is like interesting. I'll listen to it. But it's called Typhoon, which means typhoon, I guess, and
Yep.
there's a lot of foot stomping and a lot of like really gruff like kind of stuff going on there, and it's
And a harmonica.
oh yes, harmonica is on there a lot, and then
Yeah.
it's a lot slower than a lot of the other songs on the album. I think that's why it kind of gets interpreted as a drag. It's not a bad song, but it's kind of a blues number that seems almost kind of like it was a little bit improvised, because you can hear
Yeah,
how
I think that's why I like it as much as I do.
you can hear how hollow the studio is, because he's stomping his foot on the floor for the drum track.
Yeah. Like, it almost feels almost feels canish.
Oh yes,
I do like that part. Yeah. And also, I've lived through like tropical cyclones in my life, so I do kind of like the vibe on this one, where it's a bit like almost desolate. It's open, it's slow. You're like, it kind of feels a little Eye of the Storm.
Right. It's a little, yeah. No, that is a good way
Again,
of putting
having
it.
lived through two hurricanes, feels very Eye of the Storm.
And then the 11th track is Haru Ranman, and now I'm a little bit. This is kind of towards the end of the album, and like you said with the Meridian Brothers, it's a little bit like we get the point. But I will mention, we were talking about Dusty Springfield, and this song has a little bit of an interpolation of Buffalo Springfield at the end of it, apparently on the horn, and
I believe it.
yeah,
Dusty's older brother.
yes. And so that's what's going on here. I don't know what the like I said, when I first heard this album, I was going in blind. I was going in through vibes. I think in 2023, one of the guys from Yola Tango said this was one of his favorite albums in 2023. So maybe this is the earliest I've ever been to the party for a good album like this. And then the final sort of interlude song is about the order of Japanese vowels in that they teach to like little kids, and he's singing it and playing it on the guitar, and just to close out the album.
Yeah, they got the whole syllabary.
Yep.
That's a nice
And-
little closer.
Nice little closer.
Yeah,
and
it's neat.
makes it so they don't have to really do like a whole triumphant like ending song. It's just sort of like scenes from kind of a scenes from real life kind of thing. And I will say I was looking at some of the bonus tracks, which I don't have on me because I got the original like Japanese track listing. I actually downloaded this from YouTube and like split it into individual tracks because I didn't want to pay the import fees for the Japanese CD at the time. But apparently one of the bonus tracks is they had to do multiple takes of the English dialogue from Hikara Hakuchi, so you get to hear the guy try to do that about 2 times and mess up. And I wanted to, really quick before we close this out, I wanted to kind of tell you about how, because shortly after this Happy End ended as a band, and it was a very interesting story. They tried, because it is a very good imitation of Americana and like boomer rock. And so they for their next album they tried to go to California to record with people who worked with the Eagles and the James Gang and Neil Young and stuff like that, Laurel Canyon type people. And
even they got in on it.
Yeah, even they got in on it. But the thing is when they got there, they were greeted with a lot of like xenophobia and racism from the Americans, and it was a really
don't say.
Yeah, it was a really negative experience, and it was to the point where they ended up breaking up after that because they're like, I don't want to do that again. Like, I really like country music, but if I have to go through that to make real Americana country music, like, I don't really want to do that. But one interesting story.
No, I mean that is kind of like when like people of color like who idolize Japan, they go to Japan and then they find out they're racist and then they're heartbroken. They're like, what?
No, exactly.
No, but I love you guys. What the fuck? You know, it is like, God, that must have really fucking sucked.
One of the interesting things about that third and final album, which I won't really go into because we're not covering it, but I do want to point out that one of the songs on that album that is in Japanese is written by Van Dyke Parks, which is because they wanted to work with Van Dyke Parks so bad because they were listening to Song Cycle, and you know he worked on Smiley Smile and all that stuff, and they were like so amped. They were like, we got to go there, and if we want to make real music that we really like, we got to work with Van Dyke Parks. So they basically went to his studio and found that the door was unlocked and just let themselves in. And by the time that Van Dyke showed up at the actual studio, they were already standing there, and they had to get their translator to be like, we're from Japan and we really need you to write a country song for us, please God. And they like begged him to do that. So that's a really interesting, and I'll have to find I don't know what song it is right off the top of my head, because it is kind of a dead end for the band, but at least Harry Hosono ended up doing his solo stuff, where he did a lot of more country stuff and Yellow Magic Orchestra, but they did end up working with Van Dyke Parks, which is nice for them.
Right.
Because they begged him. They flew to California and begged him to be on their album. So,
that's the way to do it. It's like I gotta respect the hustle.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I will say about this album is that it has one of my favorite things on the internet, which is a niche RYM genre. So this one, according to RateYourMusic.com, is folk rock and new music. Nice. New music is defined as developed when Japanese singer-songwriters incorporated elements of contemporary folk and pop rock with kyokyuku songwriting. And this is the 5th best new music album of all time.
So I will have to check out those others.
So if you like this music, you should check out some new music.
Yes.
New music.
And by new, you mean from the 70s.
New music. I love it when things just are called something so basic. Like, oh yeah, I guess you get to be new music, and you know, There's there's big music. That's a subgenre. Nothing else gets to be called big music. It's just that. There's plenty of music that sounds big. It's not the only music that sounds big, but they get to claim it.
Big band and
And now,
all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's wrap this up.
I guess to summarize, I guess if we had to give a numerical score to each album,
I mean,
let's kind of conclude with that, give our thoughts there, and then we can proceed.
I'm biased.
Yeah,
towards
so
my album, but I want to hear what.
Oh, most people are.
I don't feel good giving a ranking to Al-Namrood actually, because I feel like I'm just missing a lot of context.
Yeah, the
historical
art
stuff.
is the medium is the message basically.
Well, I do. It's a 4.
That's fair.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no, it's.
I guess if I had to go,
No mercy.
if I went on pure sound, I'd say 5.
I think it'd be more like a 5 or maybe a 5.5, but it's.
Because I do like that first song.
Yeah.
I just wish there was the production was. I mean, I know, but it sounds the way it sounds. I'm sure if I heard another album of theirs, I would be much more charitable to that. It's a first album. It's practically a demo.
Right.
I can also say that I at least had a context where I kind of enjoyed the sound, which is where I don't think I would ever enjoy the sound of Brothers. So.
Right.
Fair.
It gets a point above that.
Gotcha. All right.
Your album, Foxx.
Meridian Brothers.
Yeah, what are we feeling on that?
I wish it ended better, and I think it maybe drags a bit in the latter half, but I feel like a strong 8, light 9.
I think 7 out of 10 for me.
Love it.
7 out.
Yeah, I'm also feeling a 7.
Valid.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, it does have some really cool moments. Though it just never blows me away so much. Like
It is pretty repetitive. I'll
these
give
are
it that.
sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can never get enough freedom talk and stuff like that. So, and then of course Kazemachi Roman.
I would give that one a strong 8. I'm a big fan.
I'm going for the 8.
That's an 8. That's an 8 as well. It's just some really solid folk rock.
I've never really heard anything else like it in Japanese rock except for the album that was the follow up to this, but that wasn't as coherent or whatever. So honestly, as far as coherent concept and how it was put together and recorded and everything, yeah, I've never really heard anything like it. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10, but it's an 8. And
yeah,
you definitely never forget hearing it. So just wanted to share that all with you today because we were talking about albums, and I have a short list of albums that I think every record collector has, where you find it and you go, nobody I have ever met has heard this album, and I need to show this to people, as many people as possible.
Yeah,
I need to be annoying about it.
I will. That is definitely
yes.
me with the
yes,
Grizz
sister.
Mask album from this year.
The what album? Just send me a
It's gonna be fun.
send me a link.
Grizz Mask.
Grismest.
Yeah.
I will look that up.
Grizz Mask. Yeah, it's a side project from the singer from Viagra Boys.
Oh, cool.
Just doing the free jazz.
Ooh, free jazz. Anyway,
Yeah,
It's free.
yeah. For next episode, we
The
decided
next
we're not
one.
going to do our what we originally planned for Christmas because of some hectic schedules and also job and whatnot.
right.
So
We
much
are-
job.
We are, however, going to look at two albums from famous pop stars of the 2000s, but we're going to look at their we're kind of seen as some commercial slumps that came before and after very successful albums with multiple year-end hits.
Ooh.
And when we talk about the 2000s, we got to talk about From Nelly to Kelly. That's right.
Yep.
We are bringing up Nelly Furtado's Folklore.
And Kelly Clarkson's My December.
Ooh.
All right. We're going to we're getting nostalgic with this motherfucker.
Happy for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you for inviting me on the podcast, by the way. I had a great time talking to y'all about albums and
Of course.
info dumping into
Yeah,
the podcast.
anytime.
Thank you so much. And
You're good at conversations.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
My name is Mageclick.
My name is Foxx Navarro.
my name is Blake.
And we shall see you in the final episode of 2025.
It's
right.
the last one of 2025.
Yes.
The last
Yeah.
See ya.
one. Adios.